All right, let's move to the Week 3 injuries we're tracking because this list is really long right now. It's getting ugly out here, guys. Nico Collins dealing with a hip. Very scary situation.
Yeah, that came out of the blue, as did George Kittle. Like all of a sudden out of the
he's not practicing right now.
Yeah, I mean, so it's looking like it's going to be, it's going to be Brandon Ayuk, Juwan Jennings, and
Joe Mason.
Yeah. I mean, like, whatever. Again, the Garrison Hurst, right? Like. Yeah.
Bell. Yeah. It's not
It's old 49ers.
Better news on Justin Jefferson. He's trending towards playing. Raheem Mostert's been back at practice.
Ferguson has as well.
Yep.
Looks like good. Jordan Love, there's a chance Jordan Love plays.
Which is crazy.
People were surprised he didn't go on IR. He's listed as questionable, but the fact is there's a legit chance, some of the reporting has been 50-50 chance that Jordan Love plays this week. And even if he does, it means like he's on track to play in Week 4, which if you only miss out of 2 weeks of Jordan Love, that's a home run. Joe Mixon, we still don't know yet, but I did note this. I put this out on Twitter, just like Cam Akers is still available in 89% of Yahoo leagues. And just Dameon Pierce isn't practicing, and by the way, it doesn't matter if he does. Like Dameon Pierce is just not a fit for this offense. So I do think that if Joe Mixon were to miss, Cam Akers is a viable RB2 against the Vikings this week.
All right, we got to hear also from Andy Reid on Isaiah Pacheco, who we talked about yesterday, will be down and out for a big portion of this season, and it didn't really get much more optimistic from his head coach. Take a listen.
As far as the injuries go, really Pacheco's the only one to announce. He's been put on IR. Is having surgery today. I can't give you a time when he'll return, but there's, we'll just see if it's this season or next season.
I mean, maybe it's just coach speak, but it's not what you want to hear this season or next season. And by the way, I was a little surprised the reaction to a broken fibula was like, well, like it's a running back who broke his fibula.
Took Tony Pollard
that's the first person I saw.
A year to look like himself.
Right, he didn't look anything like himself when he came back. And he had an offseason.
That's one of the big, whatever, on Fantasy Football pregame, which will be on Sunday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, all the way up until kickoff, both on Peacock and the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. We answer more questions than any other pregame show out there. Jay, you and I always, along with Lawrence and George, we do our storylines for the day, and I think I'm going to, hey, Steven, just write this down so I don't have to text you later. But my storyline this week is going to be Chiefs running back. How do these carries get distributed? Is it Carson Steele? Is it Samaje Perine? Does one of them, wait for it, run away with a job? And then what happens when Kareem Hunt gets up to speed as well? And so to me, that's a massive fantasy storyline. My assumption or guess at the moment is that none of them emerge, and it's just sort of this annoying running back by committee where Carson Steele scores 1 week and Perine the next week, and then, whatever, and Hunt the next week, and it's just like kind of this useless running back by committee. But that I think is one of the big storylines here. And to your point, hopefully you have an IR spot and you just put Pacheco there and you just wait to see if he comes back. But if you don't have an IR spot, I could see if you only have 5 bench spots, I could absolutely see cutting Pacheco. That's just you're talking 2 months and maybe the year.
Yep.
And you have to weigh, right? This is the Chiefs. It's always the Super Bowl. If Pacheco comes back, they might just ramp him up for the playoffs very slowly if they're in a position where, hey,
we don't need him. It's working.
We need him for the postseason right way. That doesn't do anything for you in the fantasy playoffs. Not even close. Completely irrelevant. So we'll keep an eye on this one, but not trending the right way. You guys?
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest RotoWorld fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.